Well, the emergency headlines are that the Russian ambassador to Turkey has been assassinated, and it's all on video. He was being videoed talking at a podium at an art exhibition, and the shooter, a 22-year-old off-duty policeman, came up from behind and shot him a number of times, and the camera seemed to pan with the shooter as he walked away, as he moved away slightly. And I just find it strange that the cameramen could maintain their position in the midst of an assassination. I mean, it's most unlikely it was a cameraman with experience of war, shootings, and could keep his cool at the time of an assassination. But anyway, that's just one question mark. He was shot about 5 times, the Turkish ambassador, and there's no blood whatsoever, and there's very high resolution photographs, very high clear quality. So there's just no blood, which doesn't really make sense. And I would have thought, not knowing any better, that a bullet shot at you from behind would protrude and come through the body. Anyway, there are no casings for the bullets, and again, it's high quality footage. You can see the high resolution everywhere. And then afterwards, the gunman, of course, shouts "Allahu Akbar," which is the signature tune for our Islamophobia. It means God is great. So we are in the midst of a fake war on terror, and demonizing the Islamists is necessary, and we're having it pushed upon us daily from all sides. They're killing women, children, they're doing terrible things, they're beheading people, every atrocity under the world. And today's seeming alleged assassination happened on the very day that the Turkish and Iranian foreign ministers are flying to Moscow to discuss a settlement in Syria. Well, these meetings are generally prearranged. They're generally, all the deals are done, and they're just going there to really sign the deals. And so the jihadists are the loser, because they're being blamed for this assassination of the Russian ambassador. But while the gunman is walking around with his gun and apparently shoots some other people, and he is shouting, we don't know what, but some people are actually looking away from him and just static. They should be looking at him or running away, but they're doing neither, which raises more questions. The killer got shot, and you see some blood on him, and of course this is more realistic than the ambassador, who had no blood on him, but it doesn't mean to say it was real blood. We don't know. But the ambassador, when he was taken to the hospital, you see the ambulance reversing in, and it's reversing in at about 3 kilometers an hour, 3 miles an hour. I mean, this should be an emergency situation, None of that was present, although we see someone trying to resuscitate him inside the ambulance. So, yet more question marks. Why wasn't the ambulance going in a hurry? Now, I pay tribute to PK Truth, because I watched his video on the subject matter, and he certainly pointed out the ambulance and other issues. Whenever they shoot the assassin and there's no one left to really talk, it's always a bit suspicious. You don't even have to have the trial. Well, this news coincides with a supposed terror attack in Berlin, where a truck drives into people, and there's precious little evidence to show it, and there's a lot of questions about that, as whether it was a real event or not. And what we have to take stock of is, why are they, if these news events are orchestrated, what is it that they're trying to distract us from? What is it that we should not be looking at? I suspect it's Aleppo and the safe passage of the jihadists out, because it's hard to countenance. We've been told they're terrorists constantly, and now we're being told the terrorists are being given safe passage out. That's very possible. That's what it's designed to steal the headlines from. We don't know, but there's clearly negotiations going on in Syria for a long time between the different sides, but we, as the public, just get told they're terrorists. Well, unfortunately, what's going to happen at the end of all this is we're not going to have any civil liberties at all, and we're not going to be able to walk in and out of any building without a metal detector, and it's going to be like pure fascism. And I see this all modeled on the way Iraq was conquered, on the way that Israel treats its the people inside Israel with maximum security. This is the part of the New World Order. At first, the policeman was said to be part of the security for the Russian ambassador visiting there, but later it was stated that he was in fact a off-duty policeman. But it coincides with Trump saying he's going to keep his private security and not use, the government-given security. I guess there's a JFK kind of worry in it all. What I'm rather unfortunately believing these days is most of the news is orchestrated for us for the purposes of manipulating our minds. It's terrible, but that's more real than false. Forgive me if I've made a mistake and he was really assassinated and I shouldn't be asking these questions, but there are too many questions. Now, there is live footage, a whole link of a video of the entire episode, which I'll put in the link. I'm not talking about CNN with narrative or any of that stuff, just the whole video of the event. If you could help with any donations, please send something along to this PayPal address or to the Patreon account. I totally depend on you for maintaining an independent, objective viewpoint on what is going on.